What's cracking, guys? Bruce Matson here, your host show, Metro Scout Fantasy Football, and today we're doing our rankings and tiers for our top 40 wide receivers. I was going to do top 25, but I got around the 25 range, and there was just other guys I wanted to do, so I figured I extended this one out a little bit. I got the 40, maybe could have did 50, but we're doing top 40 today, and tiers just fits me best because when I'm ranking players, I sometimes feel like the 12th or 15th guy. I feel the same about like the 6th guy. And when you're looking at it, my rankings or whatever, you think I'm low on this guy, but really, catch me on another day, he's almost up there with the number 6 guy or however you want to word it. But these tiers kind of help me rank a little bit. And you guys like to watch them, so I'm going to show them to you. But let's get this started. Top 40 wide receivers in tiers. Here we are. We're on the page now. Let's get this started. We're going to start off with our first tier, tier S. And our first player, number 1 guy, Justin Jefferson, stud wide receiver. More volume supposed to be in Minnesota's offense this year. Looking forward to that. Number 2, Cooper Kupp. He's number 1 and number 2 for everybody else. Volume, last year's stats, efficiency, everything's there. Number 3, and he's usually number 3 for everybody else, and I have him in the top tier with these two, is a stud as well. He's usually in the top 3 of most people's ranks. Sometimes he falls back a little bit, but he's one of my top guys, especially for Dynasty. I'm talking about Jamar Chase. And the Bengals offense should be rolling. He should be getting the air yards. He should be explosive. And I like him for fantasy this year. I have these as my top 3 wide receivers in the top tier. And really, I can move Chase ahead of Kupp and not feel bad about it. I wouldn't feel bad about that. I have Jefferson slotted there at 1 pretty easy. I'm not moving him at all there. These two guys here can interchange a little bit. And that's about it. That's my top tier. Those are my top guys. Going on to the second tier. So here I got Stephon Diggs. Stud, should push for a 30% target share, and one of the best offenses in the league, one of the most explosive offenses in the league. Next is CeeDee Lamb, and I feel like he should get a large target share this year because there's not much competition. He should be able to do something with that. He should be easily one of the top wide receivers in targets unless he gets injured or something. I like CeeDee Lamb this year because I think the volume's going to be there. Next is Devante Adams. I'm going with Adams as 3. Any other time, last few years, he would be up here in this tier. But he's down here, new situation. But I don't think much is going to change. I think he's going to get the volume. I think he's going to get the targets downfield. I think he's going to get the opportunity to succeed. If you feel safer, you feel better than him over Lamb, go ahead and do it. If you like him over Diggs, go ahead and do it. These 3 guys can interchange pretty easily for me. I like Diggs a lot, though. I really do like Diggs a lot. So let's move it like that. Next guy off this tier is Mike Evans. And you can move him back a little bit, but what I like about him is he consistently gets some air yards and has a good target share, holds value in fantasy, will get you them spike weeks. We just need him to remain healthy. My next wide receiver is T. Higgins. Just like Mike Evans, gets the air yards, gets the touchdown looks, got some value in that offense. Good explosive offense. I like T. Higgins. Matter of fact, I can put him ahead of Mike Evans, and it's debatable with him and Lamb because he's in a better offense than Lamb. It's more explosive, will get the targets, and is proven to make those big plays. The last person in this tier is Michael Pittman. I like Michael Pittman a lot. I'm very high on him, and he's in this tier, but I can move him up here. I think he's going to have a good year, especially with Matt Ryan there. I think the target's going to be plenty. I think he's going to have a good target share. I think he's going to be pushing like around the 25% range, maybe a little higher. I think we could see a good ascension here. I originally had Evans around this area, but I could have him back here. And CeeDee Lamb feels safe because, the targets could go gangbusters. But Pittman, I wouldn't be surprised if he outproduces everybody in this tier. I just wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Moving on to tier B, pretty good sized tier here. We're going to start things off with Keenan Allen. In the Chargers offense, high volume, playing in the AFC West, so he's going to have those good matchups. Next, Tyrik Hill. I'm a little lower on him, change of situation. Going to have to get that target share. The air yards is going to have to be there. He's going to have those monster games. More than likely, if you're following me following what I'm ranking, you're not going to be drafting much of him. A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, I love him a lot. And I feel like I got him too low. I can put him at the head of this tier. I can put him in with this tier up here. That is where I'm at with him. Right now, we're going to nestle him here. I feel like Hurts is going to lock onto him. Because why not? If I'm going to lock on to anybody, A.J. Brown's going to be the guy. If I'm going to take a step forward, and if I want to improve, I'm going to just lock onto my guy. I got me an alpha wide receiver, one of the best ones in the league, and I'm going to just push it to him. That's one thing I got to think about here with Jalen Hurts is, you know what, maybe he's not the best passer in the league, but maybe he's smart enough to just push it to him, and I feel like that would happen. That's what I would do if I was Jalen Hurts. The next wide receiver in this tier is Debo Samuel. I did a video the other day talking about how I was a little lower on him than most people. Really, if you're following these ranks, you're not going to be drafting him much, but he does fall in some drafts because not everyone's following last year's stats, so you could catch him at a discount. We also got DJ Moore in this tier. Baker Mayfield's there. Should get a large target share. Should see the touchdowns increase because touchdowns were low last year. Should get more opportunity for that. I also like Deontay Johnson. I like Deontay Johnson a lot in this tier. I like him more than a lot of people. I feel like he can take a step forward. We got new quarterback play. He's very efficient. And I feel like he can be a very good weapon in fantasy this year. I'm also high on Cortland Sutton. And I don't want him falling in my tiers because I love the fact he's paired with Russell Wilson. Love the high volume offense. Playing in pretty much Coors Field of the NFL. So that's what I like. Deep targets. Him getting those stats from a few years ago when he was one of the top producers in the league. We could go back to that. The last guy I want in this tier is Allen Robinson. I feel like he has a chance to go nuclear with the Rams, and I want to take a risk on that, and I will pay up for that, and I feel like Matt Stafford could give him a little bit of that Cooper Kupp love, and I'm all about it. Now we're going to be going to Tier C. Tier C is an interesting tier as well, because we got some good wide receivers with some question marks. First one's Terry McLaurin. Big question marks, Carson Wentz, of course, and the Washington Commanders offense. The next one's Chris Godwin, coming back from that injury. Who knows how well he's going to start off the season, but he's in a good offense, damn good player. Usually any other year he's around Tier B to pushing Tier A up there. Next is my boy Rashad Bateman, and he should be the alpha wide receiver in offense. Should get a good target share, but the passing volume may not be there. Jalen Waddle. Feel like I'm a little low on here. Feel like he can be higher in Tier C, which is possible. Also, could flirt with Tier B. I like him. I also like him in Dynasty. But I don't know what this offense is going to look like. New coaching staff. We got Hill there. So things can change. Next is Mike Williams. He's growing on me. Someone said I was a little low on the rankings. But honestly, I can move him top of this tier. Or push him up to the end of this tier. For me, I'm very volatile. Moving him up here, I could easily do that. I love the offense. I love the AFC West matchups. And I know that the yards per route run is decreasing by year for Keenan Allen. Mike Williams could have a decent year and it could sneak up on us. Now we're going to be moving on to Tier D. I'm moving through this kind of quickly because I am going through 40 players. Tier D is DK Metcalf. And the reason why I got him ranked here is because I don't want to be too high or too low. And I like the fact that he can get air yards and he can give you spike weeks. And I don't know what the Seattle offense is going to be. I'm not expecting it to be gangbusters. But I know DK Metcalf can probably get you some spike weeks here and there. Brandon Cooks is a damn good wide receiver who's aging like a fine wine. Will get you air yards. Very crafty on the route running. And will command a good target share. If anything, I'm a little low on him. Maybe he should be pumped up to Tier C, but I don't know. I'm not 100% trusting of him every year. Another wide receiver I like here is Marquis Brown. Air yards for days in the Arizona offense. Target share should be there before Nuke comes back from suspension. I like Marquis Brown a lot this year, and I want to draft him a little bit higher than ADP, getting him a little bit earlier. Next is Juju Smith-Schuster in this tier because Patrick Mahomes go burr. He gives life to his weapons. Juju Smith-Schuster could be going off, and I don't want to miss out. Last player in this tier You can really move him around here wherever you want, maybe even up there to the back end of Tier C. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a strong finish last season. Good production. Let's see if he can carry it over. You can also get him at a good discount in drafts right now. Now we're going on to Tier E, working through kind of quick. And I'm not in love with this guy because of injuries, but Michael Thomas. When he's on the field, when he's healthy, he's good. But when's that going to happen again? Feel like this is low for Darnell Mooney. I think a lot of people will have him higher. You know what? I'm just going to slide him up here to Tier D because he kind of fits in well here. Explosive wide receiver, good route runner, low volume passing offense, but should get a high target share. We're kind of looking at Brandon Cooks maybe-ish type of player, so might as well put him with him. Next is Elijah Moore, and you know what? Let's put him in Tier D because it's the same damn thing. Very efficient, should get a decent target share. I know Garrett Wilson's there, but right now Moore's going to be the man. Now we're going to stay with his tier, though. Here we got Amari Cooper. I don't trust this Browns offense at all. But he's going to be a good deal in drafts. You're going to get him at a good ADP. Should get a good target share. Might have a good back end of the season when Watson comes back. However, Cooper's been playing through injuries off and on throughout his career. We could see that this season. Older wide receiver. On this tier, finishing this up, I want to take shots on Drake London. Rookie wide receiver. Should be the number one in the offense, at least eventually. But it's forecasted to be. Could get a target share. And Jerry Jeudy. I want some of these Broncos offense. I feel like I'm low on them. But you know what? I'm moving Thomas back. And I'm moving Cooper back. And maybe London back if you want to play it safe. This tier looks a little better for me. I would range this tier like that right now with how I feel. Going on to this next tier, Tier F. This tier, I'm going to start things off with Devonta Smith. Heisman Trophy winner, has upside, good player, low volume passing offense. A.J. Brown should suck up the targets. He should suck up the targets. I love A.J. Brown so much that it makes me go lower on Devonta Smith. I love A.J. Brown. I'm going to talk about A.J. Brown when I'm supposed to be talking about Devonta Smith, but I think this is a good value for him. Next is Kadarius Toney. I think he can give you those spike weeks. I think he has the potential to blow up. I think he could be one of those guys that just sneak up on us. However, he's got to be healthy. He's got to be on the field. He's got to be producing, and that worries me a lot. The last wide receiver I got in Tier F here is Treylon Berks, and this team needs a wide receiver to step up. He can get you that yak. He's got size-adjusted speed. Target should be there if he's on the field, if he's getting snaps. That's the big question. At this part of the rankings, he's a speculative asset with upside. Moving on to the last tier. We're going to start things off with Adam Thielen. Old trusty. We are getting more volume in the passing offense for the Vikings. Should lead to some spike weeks for Thielen, and he ain't dead yet. Next is our boy George Pickens. I'm here for upside. And I saw what I saw in preseason. I showed you the clips all off season, all training camp. He's a damn good player, and I'm shooting for upside. And if I'm true to that word, this is an upside tier. So let's put him up here. And you know what? Let's see if we can capitalize on this and maybe move him up a bit. It's redraft. We're sprinting to the finish. And let's see what can happen here. Maybe he hits. Maybe he out-targets Deontay Johnson. Maybe he out-targets someone else in his offense. We don't know. We're not paying a premium, but I'm willing to pay more than somebody else to see what happens. So, George Pickens, I'm moving him up a bit. I might still be too low. I might even move him up more. The next wide receiver I want to look at, Brandon Ayuk. Should have a decent season. Should be productive off and on. It's going to be hard to get a good target share, though. Debo, Kittle, maybe a slower-paced offense with more rushing attack. But he is a good route runner and has the potential to give you something, especially as a cheap wide receiver on your team. Next for this tier is Christian Kirk. Has the potential to get a good target share in his offense, some good volume. Let's see if it happens. Let's see what these Jaguars look like. Could give us some upside on some weeks, and could be a sneaky flyer later in drafts. Next is Alan Lazard. We all want them Packers receivers. If you like Romeo Dowd's better, just throw him in there. Just consider them both as that picture. I don't care. Do what you want. It's your draft. last but not least, DeAndre Hopkins, because he's DeAndre Hopkins, and you can't push him down too low because when he comes back, he has the potential to give you something big. Because he's DeAndre Hopkins and he's that talented, you don't want to sleep on him. That's it for my top 40 wide receiver rankings and tiers. Ran through this one kind of fast today since we had so many players to talk about and we just needed to cover these rankings up. I do better with tiers than straight up rankings. Gives me more to work with, and I'm also a guy that bounces around a little bit with my players, as you saw while I was talking about them. Let me know in the comments who are some of the players you're buying, some of these wide receivers you're pumping up your board in your drafts. Good luck on your drafts this week. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. Helps the video and the algorithm. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be dropping content like this all year long, all season, along with film studies and maybe highlights if you can find them from practices and stuff. It's all going to be right here on this channel. But I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.